We're not stating our name and address anymore, are we? Is that different? Are we still doing that?
No, name and county.
Name and county, all right. Lauren
Because
Hopson, Knox County.
You have to be a Knox County resident.
Okay. KCEA President. And as KCEA President, I would like to, on behalf of our members, formally welcome all the new board members to the school board. I would also like to thank Superintendent Thomas for really sticking up for our PECA team when it came to negotiating our rates for the insurance and making sure that we were abiding by the MOU. So I'd like to say thanks for that too. Most of what I want to talk about tonight really is just my concerns with the charter school report, because I am one of those rare people that has an affliction where I do read through those reports. And I don't think it'll come as any surprise that some of the issues that some of the board members brought up are the very things that I am concerned about. First of all, I'm a little concerned about the test that we're going to be using to evaluate them, just in the sense that it's completely different from what we are using in Knox County schools. It's a standard-based adaptive test. In other words, the more questions that a student answers correctly, the higher the difficulty of the next questions go and so forth. So it's a little bit different kind of test. It also doesn't have the same set proficiency rate. So I'm not really sure, if we're in charge of monitoring how the school is performing, how we're going to be able to compare those apples and oranges. I'm also really concerned too, because I did a little search about that particular test today, and apparently in 2010, Brad Bernatek and Jessica DeBoras, two of MAP's main administrators, was talking to a group of parents and was telling them that it was inappropriate and unreliable when used for K through 2 students. So those are the people that are the main administrators from the company. So I'm a little concerned about that, you know, and how do we compare those apples and oranges if we're wanting to see if we're being as successful with the charter school as we are with our own students. I'm also concerned about the amount of staff turnover. You know, that's really roughly 50% of their staff. That's huge, especially when we're dealing with populations of children that need stability. That's a great concern to me. My biggest concern, though, however, is the discipline. 89 suspensions with 120 students is huge. Keep in mind, they're also kindergarten and first grade students that we're suspending. And I know statistics can say a lot of things, and we heard earlier that the majority of those suspensions were, you know, about 12 of the same kids, and I'm sure that's probably true for most schools. But just to do some comparison, I looked up at similar schools. Sarah Moore Green, who has 635 students, had 63 suspensions, which is 9.9%. Maynard Elementary has 195 students. They have no suspensions. I know their principal has a certain philosophy about that, but still they were able to maintain, and we're talking K through 5, no suspensions. And Skip also with 519 students and no suspensions. Lonsdale, 404 students with 15 suspensions, that's 3.7%. Beaumont, 550 students with 64 suspensions, which is 11.6%. Vine Middle, which is one of our middle schools, 336 students with 135 suspensions, which is 40%. And we're still talking 74% at one of our charter schools. I also worry that we have an OCR complaint. Are we going to be responsible for dealing with the discipline in the charter school when it comes time to dealing with that complaint? And I know that the principal said that most of the students did return to the charter school, but that means that some of them didn't. And unfortunately, that also means that the money that left with them did not return to us. And that's a huge concern. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a huge fan of charter schools. I'm not. I demonstrated on Market Square 2 years ago against this very charter school. Because of those reasons, because we can't afford to be experimenting with our kids. These are some of our kids that we need to be really taking the best care of. And I know the word laboratory has been used a couple times even just tonight. Our kids are not lab rats. We can't afford to be experimenting with them. It does not take a genius to figure out that lower class size and 2 teachers in a classroom and parent engagement is going to help all of our students. We don't need a laboratory to figure out that that could work in the rest of our schools as well. Thank you.